Hi, welcome back to a new video. Today is a fine day for science because we will learn about Chat GPT, how exactly it's working, and at the end we will actually build our own chatbot. It won't be that advanced as Chat GPT, but you will see how fast you can create your own. You have probably all heard about ChatGPT in the last couple of days. Maybe some of you have really used it. There are a lot of theories behind how the future will look for us humans, but so far I think AI is just a tool that can make your life easier. To actually protect yourself against everything that could happen, the best thing you can do is actually learn how AI works. ChatGPT is a language generation tool that uses neural network based model to predict an answer. It processes your input text and it actually gives you meaningful data. And if you used it, you know that it's actually pretty scary how accurate it is. To construct your own ChatGPT, you would need a really vast amount of data. Actually, neural networks are with us since 1944, but back then they didn't have that much data, so this technology has been forgotten until the big data era emerged. Let's say you want to actually build your own chatbot. What are the steps that you should follow? First, you gather the data and then you clean it because you don't want your chatbot to promote hate speech, for example. After that, you do a text normalization where you just transform your text into something consistent. I mean, you just have lowercase letters everywhere. Next, you should remove the stop words. These are words like A, N, D. To summarize, words that don't have much meaning. Next, you should remove your punctuations and special characters. The computer does not care about them. And next, we are getting to the more serious processing. You have to break the phrase that you provided into smaller units. For example, you provide a paragraph that should be tokenized into phrases, then into words. This is called tokenization. Next process is called lemmatization or stemming. In this process, you will reduce the words to their base form. For example, eating transforms into eat. For humans, having eating is important, but for the computer, this is not so useful and it would actually make our life harder. Last step is vectorization. You have your text and then you want to be able to feed it into the neural network. So to do that, you need to have a numeric representation. Now that you have the training data in the right format, you will need to provide it to your AI. I have made a simple neural network with one hidden layer. I know it seems complicated, but keep in mind that the actual ones that are used in the more advanced systems, like ChatGPT for example, are having billions of parameters. So it won't be possible to actually understand that model in a diagram. Neural networks are inspired from the brain. Let's start with each lane and explain it. The first lane is the input layer. It's actually the vector that you have constructed previously. For example, I'm washing the dishes. This phrase can be converted to something like this: 1, 1, 1. This is the input layer. After that, we can see on the lane number 2 that we have some links between the hidden layer and the input layer, because what we are trying to do is actually find some values for these weights, so in the end the output can be as accurate as possible. On the lane number 3 we have the hidden layer. This hidden layer is computed by using the input layer and the weights. After we apply a mathematical function that is well chosen for our purpose, we will get some values for the hidden layer. Now we have to actually try to obtain the output. We will do the same as previously. We will compute the matrices multiplication between the hidden layer and the weights that are between the hidden layer and the output layer. And on the lane number 5, it's the actual output, the prediction. When training a model, you have 3 big steps. You have the training phase, the validation phase, and the test phase. How this starts? Let's say we have our text that's processed and in the right form. Our purpose in a neural network is to find the right values for our weights so the output can be as precise as possible. What exactly are these weights? Imagine you have an appliance that, based on what cake you are baking, it gives you the right amount of sugar and flour. This is what we are trying to do. We are feeding the model with an input. We have the actual output and the predicted output. We adjust these weights so the outputs can predict what we want. At the beginning, the weights are initialized with random values or are taken from another pre-trained model, depending on what you are trying to accomplish. But let's say for us that are initialized with some random numbers. So we will multiply the matrix formed with the input layer and the weights that we have generated. Then you can apply the activation function to the result of the multiplication. Now you have obtained the hidden layer values and you can go forward with finding the output. So what you will do, you will represent this layer as a matrix and you will multiply it with this matrix. Then you will apply the activation function to the result of the multiplication and you will obtain the output. After you obtain the output, you have the predicted output and the actual output that you want to obtain. For example, you have a question: what planet are we on? And you know the answer as being Earth. You feed the question into the neural network, then you obtain an output. At the beginning, when you start, it won't be a precise output, but after training for a while, you will see that the output will become more and more precise. So you got your output. You obtain an error now. After that, you will have to calculate the amount of which you want your weights to be modified. And you will re-update the weights backwards. You first update the weights between the hidden layer and the output layer. And after that, the weights between the hidden layer and the input layer. Next, you will get another input and the process will be repeated for all the training data and also as many times as we want. To actually obtain significant results, you need big power of computation. That's why it's hard to build a precise model on your personal computer. Next, I have made a diagram that will simplify even more the concept of neural network. Now imagine you have trained your neural network and you have the wanted weights. You input your phrase. That phrase is encoded into a numeric representation and it's fed into your neural network. Your neural network gives you an output and you have a decoder. The decoder will provide the information in human readable format. That's basically how a chatbot and neural networks are working. Now we got to the last phase where we want to actually build our own chatbot. Let's get into PyCharm and actually start coding. I only have the main here, so we will start to construct it. We will actually use Chatterbot. This is a library that actually has a pre-trained model. So we won't have that phase where we have to train the model. We will just import it and actually use it in our program, and we will have some fun with some questions. Let's see. Chatbot equals chatbot of example chatbot. Next, we need a trainer. Trainer equals Chatterbot corpus trainer of our chatbot. and we will now import the model that actually exists in this library. So trainer dot train chatterbot dot corpus dot English. Now we want to actually use our chatbot. So while true, this is an infinite loop because I want to get some input from the keyboard. User input equals input ask me anything. And now let's see the response of the chatbot to our input. Response equals chatbot dot get response to the user input. Now we want to actually print the response from the chatbot. Print response and response. And let's run the program. Just run it. You can see here that all the modules are imported. And now we have our text. Ask me anything. Who are you? I'm just an artificial intelligence. Will AI replace humans? You can see that it may produce nonsense because it's not that advanced as Chat GPT. So let's try something else. What is AI? Artificial intelligence is the branch of engineering and science devoted to constructing machines that think, which is a correct definition. Let's see if it knows what a neural network is. Not the response that we would like. Let's ask a more general question. What is football? We can see that it's not very good at giving responses, but let's tell him to give us a joke. Tell me a joke. Did you hear that one about the mountain goats in the Andes? It was bad. If you want, you can play with this example more, but I think this is it for this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please subscribe, like it, and comment what else you would like to see on this channel. Also, you have to know that the next video will be also about neural networks, and we will actually build a neural network in Python from scratch. It will be really fun. If you don't want to miss that, please subscribe. Thank you.